In this lesson, we will learn how to save our custom cat rig as a preset. So after we have finalized our rig, we then want to repurpose this asset to work efficiently. We can do this by selecting our cat parent node and then moving over to our modify panel, and at that point we'd find the cat rig load save rollout found right at the very bottom. So if we were to go ahead and choose the save preset icon, we can go ahead and save this file out to whatever we'd like. Here I have it renamed to creature rig. Once we save this, if we were to go to our create panel, choose the cat parent tool, notice we have that now loaded into our preset list, and loading in the file is as simple as clicking in our scene. What's also nice is that this also remembers any layer history we have. So if I were to head over to manage layers, you can see here is all of that data except for our creature. This needs to be added in another way. When it comes to accessories, we need to work with the add rigging tool found right underneath the save tool. So let me go ahead and show you how that works. With the cat parent that we've added selected, I'll just go ahead and remove that from the scene. Now, selecting the original object, we can choose add rigging, and at that point we choose add to load in the dialog window. Now if this is blank, that simply means that our object may be frozen, so we don't have access to it. If I were to go back to manage layers and unfreeze the creature layer, watch this, going back to add, now we have access to load that in and save this out. So I'll simply save over the creature rig file. Now at that point, going back to our cat parent tool, we can now go ahead and load in our creature. Now I'm not going to go ahead and do that in this file simply because, again, this is our target file, so it's safest to do this in a new scene file. I'm going to go ahead and pause the video and do that. Okay, so in this brand new scene, going back to cat parent, and now load in our creature rig, and here we have it, and the skin data is also saved, so that saves us some time. We may find that if we try to do this in our target file, we get a warning simply because of conflicting nodes. So again, by creating a brand new scene, we can safely load in these assets. Now what this is doing is saving our rig data, but it's not saving any animation data at all. Later on we'll learn how to do that, as well as how to save poses. Again, another time saver. But since this is not saving any animation history, what that means is that we need to create a brand new animation layer, which also involves tweaking the feet again, as we have learned how to do earlier on. But still, with that said, this is a very efficient way of working. Instead of building the entire rig from scratch, we just have a few minor changes to make in order to get right in and start animation. Alright, so I wanted to go ahead and show you how to save these presets out. Now if you ever needed to reload your file, let's say if you have made some modifications to your cat rig and you need another artist to go ahead and update those changes, well, it's just a matter of selecting your cat parent node, heading back over to the modify panel and choosing reload from here. You could also automatically reload your rig by using this option here, making sure it's checked, and then loading in your file. And what this is great for is when wanting to kind of test animation on other preset rigs. Alright, so if you had a rig that was either identical to this custom rig, or that was a slight variation of this, you can go ahead and use this feature here. Once that file is loaded in, Max will go ahead and load in that updated file, and then you could go ahead and see how the animation looks on the updated scene. But keep in mind that you want the rig to be matched as close as possible to the original file. Otherwise, you may notice some undesirable results simply because of a drastic difference between the two rigs. Now, before we close out, I'd like to go ahead and show you how to browse and access a preset that way. Notice we don't have access to the browse option when our rig is already loaded in. So what we'd want to do then is head over to the Create panel, go back to Cat Parent, and select None at the top. So once we go ahead and create our node, it doesn't matter what size it is, we can head back over to our Modify panel and go ahead and load in the file that way by simply going to the Open option and searching for our preset file. So that's how that works. All right, so again, in this lesson, we've learned not only how to save our rigs as presets, but then how to load them back in, and then how to automatically load them to save time.